Good afternoon, I'm Elton Robinson with your June 10th grain and oilseed update. By June 5th, 98% of the U.S. corn crop had been planted, which is on pace with last year. 90% of the crop has emerged, 4 percentage points above last year. 75% of the corn crop is listed in good to excellent condition. Planting of the U.S. soybean crop is also moving along quickly with 80% planted and 65% emerged. 72% of the crop is listed in good to excellent condition. Grain sorghum planting is lagging behind last year on average, but Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, and Oklahoma are equal to or exceed last year's pace. 90% of the nation's peanut crop is planted equal to last year. 68% of the crop is listed in good to excellent condition. The U.S. rice crop is now planted and 94% of the crop has emerged. 67% of the crop is listed in good to excellent condition. 91% of the winter wheat crop is headed, 8% ahead of last year. 2% has been harvested compared to 10% this time last year. Only California and Texas reported numbers on harvest progress. There are reports from the southeast of expectations of poor yields due to wet weather. 62% of the winter wheat crop is listed in good to excellent condition, considerably better than last year's 43% at this time. 96% of the U.S. spring wheat crop is emerged, nearly 18% ahead of last year, and 79% is listed in good to excellent condition, compared to 69% last year. 38 of 48 reporting states list adequate to surplus subsoil moisture conditions of 70% or higher for all acres. California is the driest state according to the categories report, with short to very short subsoil moisture conditions for 75% of all acreage. Let's move on to exports. The summary is based on reports from exporters for the week ending June 2nd. Wheat exports for June totaled 121,000 metric tons, with South Africa, Brazil, and El Salvador as primary destinations. Corn exports of 1.242 million metric tons were up 65% from the previous week and 19% from the prior 4-week average. The primary destinations were Mexico, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. Grain sorghum exports of 59,000 metric tons were up 11% from the previous week, but down 8% from the prior 4-week average. Once again, the primary destination was China. Rice exports of 104,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week, with Libya, Iraq, Haiti, and El Salvador as customers. Soybean exports of 126,000 metric tons were down 41% from the previous week and 35% from the prior 4-week average, with Indonesia, Mexico, Japan, Vietnam, and Taiwan as primary destinations. Soybean meal exports of 285,000 metric tons were up 57% from the previous week and 43% from the prior 4-week average, with the Philippines and Mexico as primary destinations. Soybean oil exports of 23,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Exports went to Colombia, the Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Guatemala. Beef exports of 12,000 metric tons were down 6% from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Pork exports of 17,000 metric tons were down 23% from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Well, that's it for this week's report. I'm Elton Robinson. See you next week.